beautiful day.
Well, a very good morning, everyone, and welcome to Damn Good Mornings. I'm your cruise director, Tam.
And I'm your expert, Evan.
Hi, Evs.
Hey, Tam.
So, as you can see today, we're in a very special place. First of all, if you look out the windows, we're in GlacierBay, which is
Beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, super beautiful. But we're also on the bridge.
Which is also beautiful.
This is probably my favorite place of filming so far.
Yeah.
And to top it off, we're sitting in the bridge chairs.
So they're very nice and comfy.
Guess whose chair I'm in?
Captain's.
I am in the captain's chair. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully he doesn't walk in.
That's why I didn't sit there.
He's setting me up for failure. Well, yes, GlacierBay, absolutely gorgeous. So make sure you head out onto the open decks today because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and most importantly, make sure you charge your cameras. All right, you don't want to be out there and have your camera die and then you have to go charge it for a couple hours. So charge it in advance. Trust me, you need to do it.
I always nominate my husband to do it so that if it doesn't happen, I have someone to blame.
That's actually a great thing. I'm going to start nominating him too.
Adrian's in charge of all the cameras.
Everybody's cameras.
Now, if you haven't yet noticed, we do have our rangers making narration throughout the day. They came on board at 7 a.m. So you will hear them on all the open decks.
Yep.
They'll also be broadcast in the Crow's Nest as well as on your TV on channel 41. But hopefully you're not in your room.
No, get out there. Also in the Crow's Nest, they have a little table set up where you can get some National Park souvenirs, which is really nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you can ask them questions too. They have some time for meet and greet too. So that's really cool. Actually, funny story. All right, so last cruise, I went up to listen to them. They were originally scheduled to be talking from the Crow's Nest.
Okay.
So they have a microphone and it was broadcast around the ship. However, they were doing their talk from the Crow's Nest and they were telling us why the glaciers appear blue is because the ice absorbs every color but blue. And then one of our guests, I'm not going to mention who, one of our guests asked, "Excuse me, sir, what color is but blue?"
But
Took him a while. Hopefully you got it earlier than Evan did. Actually, our ranger replied, "Actually, ma'am, that's the color your bum turns when you sit on a glacier too long."
that's fast.
It's true. It's true.
But blue, I guess.
But yeah, good work. Nice one. I'm glad you're with us. Well, right now, Kelly will be interviewing one of our rangers. So over to you, Kels.
Good morning, Volendam. My name's Kelly. I'm your location guide here on this beautiful vessel, and today I have with me our special guests, and we have two park rangers with us today. It's a very exciting day because today is GlacierBay Day. It is the best day of the cruise, so I'm hoping that you're awake and perky and ready for the excitement that is GlacierBay. So, as I said, I'm Kelly, this is Zach, and this is JT, and I'm thrilled to have both of them here with me today, and I'm going to ask them some questions, some park ranger questions, and then you can come up to the Crow's Nest and ask them questions later. All right, so, how many seasons have each of you been park rangers?
Do you want to go first, JT?
Well, I started about 12 seasons ago.
12 seasons.
Yep, and I have 8 seasons in 7 different parks.
Wow. All right, how many parks?
6 national parks.
6 parks, 12 seasons, 7 parks, 8 seasons.
Yes.
All right. So which of the parks that you've worked is your favorite?
Oh, man. I'd say Shenandoah is probably my favorite because it's close to where I grew up. So it's really easy to visit family, and it's really accessible too, so there's a lot of really good hiking that you can do there.
Nice. JT?
Well, apart from GlacierBay, probably Glacier National Park, Montana, simply because I love the alpine environment and I love to hike.
Awesome. So which of the parks that you've worked in was your least favorite?
Oh man, that's a baited.
It's tough. It's a tough question.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, all of our national parks are great, but I did find a snake in the washing machine once in the Everglades, so I'm not a snake person.
Okay.
So that's just me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The Everglades is beautiful. It's a tough park to. It's tough accessibility. You know, it's kind of like Glacier Bay. You have to be on a moving vehicle, and you only see little bits. So yeah.
But no buffet in the movie.
But no buffet.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and snakes.
Yeah,
So
and snakes.
I would say my most challenging park is actually here at Glacier Bay because of that accessibility issue. So
Right.
really the only way you can visit is in some form of vessel.
right.
And so it's great to get to spend time on the cruise ships and to see a lot of this stuff, but not as much hiking opportunities.
Yes, tricky for the hiking, because first you'd have to go out on a kayak or you know, come out on a bigger vessel, get in a smaller vessel, go to
Camp.
land, camp, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, how about that? All right, let's see, what else should we ask our park rangers today? Now I'm a huge fan of national parks. I've been visiting, I haven't counted the number I've visited yet, but I should do that. And this is a big year for the parks, right? There's a big campaign going on with the parks. I believe it's called Find Your Park.
Exactly, yeah. So August 2016 is the Park Service Centennial. And so Find Your Park is our campaign. We're trying to get people to look into different places that they could visit, places maybe across the country or just right around the corner from where they are. So there's 412 Park Service sites all around the country and 59 national parks.
Awesome.
So lots of opportunities everywhere that you go. And the big deal is we want you to share the word with other people. So,
Exactly.
So share it on social media or even just friends and family, getting the word out there. We really want to see a lot more youth in our parks. We're not seeing as much youth. And, yeah, exactly. They're going to be the ones that are protecting the parks in the next generation. So
Well,
it's a big deal that we get youth in.
I am doing my part. I have a nephew, and well, first of all, I'm a photographer, so we'll talk more about photography later. But whenever I visit national parks, I take photographs and I do post them to my social media, and then I make little books. So I make a little blurb book of various experiences, and I have one in the works for Glacier Bay. I have one that I did for a vacation in Yellowstone and such, but I actually choose my vacation spots based on national parks. So which national park, what I can see, what I can photograph, and what time of year is good to visit. Because I have visited some of the parks down in the Southwest, and you've worked there. It is hot in the middle of the summer. So I prefer to be in Alaska in the middle of the summer and enjoy the weather here in Glacier Bay. So
Definitely.
very, very cool. Well, let's see. What else can I ask you? How about silly questions that you get as a ranger? I know I get silly questions all the time. Like when I lived in Vail, Colorado, they published a list on April Fool's Day that the bus drivers had of silly questions.
Oh, yes,
And
And we're in a cruise ship. We came in from the Pacific Ocean, so you're still at sea level.
exactly. Yes. I've gotten that one too. Yeah? JT?
Well, someone once asked me if I'd ever had a girlfriend before, and of course I have. I'm adorable. But also,
Excellent.
a few folks have thought maybe we were in Russia. So,
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sarah Palin has confused the world a little bit.
or Tina
Yeah.
LaFay or whatever.
Yeah, Tina Fey,
Good
Sarah
skit, though.
Palin. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Exactly. I very often am asked, even though I'm not a ranger, I do know things, and I do a talk about wildlife, and people say, Kelly, when will I see a polar bear? And I
That's a
said,
good
yeah, are you going to Anchorage? Because they live in the zoo there. But other than that, you have to go about 1,200 miles north of here. So definitely, people see ice, they think polar bear, not going to see it here.
Yeah, I always tell people if you took the state of Alaska and put it over the continental U.S., we are in Florida. To see a polar bear, you'd have to go up to Wisconsin.
Exactly.
So although you're close, you're still rather far away from where we would see polar bears or narwhals or anything like that.
Exactly. Well, it's a very exciting day here in Glacier Bay, and just to let everyone know kind of what happens, these lovely gentlemen or other park rangers that visit, because different park rangers come every week, and we also have a cultural interpreter, a Tlingit cultural interpreter, and we'll talk more about that later. But we also have a representative from Alaska Geographic. So if this map does not have enough information for you, there are fantastic publications that Alaska Geographic puts out, And you can buy children's books, you can get a national park passport to stamp, you can get pins and patches and hats and all sorts of educational materials and fun stuff as well. So you kind of bring the park service to the ship in person, and they bring a nice little park store. And all of the Alaska Geographic is a non-profit. All the profits, all the money goes back into Alaska's national parks. So that's what's really fantastic. And you can get a membership and magazines. And anyway, it's a great way to support the national parks, specifically the Alaska parks. So exciting stuff. Now, we also have some kids programs, right? And I've been working on my Junior Ranger badge, and so I think you just have a couple last questions for me, and then maybe I can be sworn in.
Oh man, JT, do you have a question?
Do I have a question for you?
Yes.
Well, did you pay attention to my commentary?
Yes, I did.
The one I didn't actually give today.
Well, Zach
She's
did it
heard
today.
it before.
But I have,
So
yes.
it counts.
Yes.
Zach gave it today. Did you learn anything new about glaciers?
Did I learn anything new?
You've been here a few times.
You know
so-
what? I don't think that I necessarily learned anything new, but I saw new aspects of the glacier because as an observer, I look at the glacier and I'm lucky enough to see it every week and all of the changes. And so while I don't think I learned anything technically new because I have studied my stuff, I saw new things.
What's your favorite color?
Glacial blue.
That's just the right answer, folks. The only answer here in Glacier Bay. So, because Kelly answered all these questions correctly and she paid attention week after week, she gets a special prize. But there's something she has to do first.
Oh,
Something that your children can do as well. And we'll tell you how in just a second. We have this cool little badge called a Junior Ranger badge. And Kelly has earned it today. But I have to swear her in, so I'm going to ask her to raise her right hand and repeat after me. I promise,
I promise,
as a Glacier Bay
as a Glacier Bay
Junior Ranger,
Junior Ranger,
to help protect
to help protect
our national parks,
our national parks,
I will spend less time
I will spend less time
playing video games
playing video games
and more time
and more time
playing outside,
playing outside.
and I will obey
And I will obey
my parents
my parents
and everything
and everything
they tell me to do
they tell me to do
if they promise
if they promise
to take me
to take me
to another national park
to another national park
within 30 days.
within 30 days.
Sound like a deal?
Fantastic.
I think Kelly has earned her Junior Ranger badge, which we pin right on. There
Yep.
we go. Yep.
All right, my fancy sweater. Dun, 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 dun.
Perfect.
What do you think?
It's almost as good as ours.
It's almost. Theirs is real. Mine is plastic. But that's okay because we all have fun in Glacier Bay each and every time we come. And I'd like to thank both Zach and JT.
Don't forget to tell them how to get their Junior Ranger.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have a Junior Ranger program, and every week we do it at 1 o'clock up in Club Hal. So if you too would like to earn a Junior Ranger badge, please come up to Club Hal at 1 o'clock and meet one of the Rangers, and you too will have to take that very serious oath. So, thank you again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for bringing us to this incredible place and sharing it with us. Zach, JT, my name's Kelly. Thank you, and we'll see you around the ship. Have a great day.
All right, now it's time for the weather with Weather Girl Tam. Take it away, Tam.
Well, yes, we are in Glacier Bay today, and as you can see, I'm standing out on the back deck. There's a little bit of rain, a little bit of drizzle, and a lot of fog. But you didn't come to Alaska for the weather, did you? You came for the view, and today has been absolutely spectacular. Now, one of the opportunities that you get to have in Glacier Bay is to take the polar bear plunge. Now, that is something that you can only do in Alaska, and it takes place right here at our back pool. You will voluntarily, yes, and I said voluntarily, choose to jump into the pool while surrounded by icebergs. Sounds silly? Well, let's see what you're in for. I'm going to test this out very trepidatiously. Holy Toledo, that's Got you! Got you again!
weather here in Glacier Bay. It's whatever the weather's like. If we've got liquid sunshine, have a wonderful day here in Glacier Bay. We'll see you later. Bye. No! Oh my God.
So good morning everyone, and today we are of course in Glacier Bay. Hope you are enjoying the scenery outside, and tomorrow we will be in Ketchikan. So my name is Gretchen once again. I am part of your shore excursions team on board, and we are here to just tell you just a little bit as to what you can do and see in Ketchikan, because of course we don't want you to miss anything in Ketchikan, especially those guests who boarded or joined us yesterday in Skagway. Oh, and I'd see my boss Kevin, and he's just going to tell you a few things to do in Ketchikan.
Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely gorgeous out there, guys. Get out there. But the other thing you have to remember is that we are indeed in Ketchikan tomorrow. Now, Ketchikan has more diversity of tour than any other port we offer, from things like snorkeling. Who would ever think of snorkeling in Alaska? You could go home and say, guess what I did in Alaska? I snorkeled. We've got adventure carts, we've got zip lining. What else have we got? We've got so many things.
And don't forget the crab feast.
The crab feast. Native culture is kept very much alive here in Ketchikan with all their totem poles, of course. Saxman Native Village and the Totem Bite State Park will give you all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the Lumberjack Show. So very fun and entertaining, and great tour to do for the whole family.
So as you can see, a lot of things to do in Ketchikan. We're going to be open at the Shore Excursions office on when? Ketchikan morning. So for any last minute sales between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, come see us.
So we'll see you there.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, make sure you charge those camera batteries, because the photography opportunities out here in Glacier Bay in particular are absolutely astounding. Now, to take you through some of the tips and tricks of wildlife photography out in Alaska is your location guide, Kelly.
Good morning, Volendam. My name's Kelly. I'm your location guide, and I'm also an avid photographer. So I'm here today to do a little segment about how to take pictures and perhaps how to capture Glacier Bay, some of the wildlife, and some of the other things that are exciting for you on this cruise to Alaska. Now, as a photographer, I actually came to Alaska for the first time on a cruise, and I brought my film camera because this was in 2000. Now I am working with a digital camera. This is a digital SLR, but any camera will do, and there are some very basic things that you want to consider whenever you are in a beautiful place and trying to get good photographs. Number one, always have plenty of memory. So in my camera I have SD cards, little chips in the camera, and test this out before you leave home. So if you just bought a new camera, give this a test run while you're at home before you come out on vacation, or at least try it before the big moment, the big day where you're trying to get the pictures of a lifetime. The second thing that I always, it sounds silly, but the second thing that I want you to consider is batteries. I have multiple batteries for my camera, and I charge them each and every day. After I use it, I charge it, and then I stick it back in the camera. I clear my chips. I have a very strategic organizational system for my photos, but for most people, you just want to take the photos and have a good time. Now, one of the things that you might consider is here in Glacier Bay, you might want to put your camera on an action setting. If you have an action setting on your camera, for digital SLR, I sometimes use shutter priority, and I will set the shutter speed relatively high. If I'm in front of a glacier, I can actually click, click, click my camera multiple times, and with a fast shutter speed, I can freeze frame those incredible moments very quickly, and very often in the sports mode on your camera, that's what is happening. The settings for glaciers, sometimes there are actually settings in your camera. If you know your camera well, you can go through the menus and find something specifically applicable. The key is you don't want to overexpose it. White, too much white can be a little crazy. So you want to take in the whole scene, maybe include the mountains, get some detail shots. And the other thing is, folks, it's digital. So take as many pictures as you want. If you need to, you can buy another chip. They're very inexpensive these days. So there's a lot to think about with photography, but don't make it too complicated. I use, and most photographers tend to think about the photograph. I think of it as a horizontal, but don't forget, you can flip your camera vertical. I know a lot of people are always taking pictures like this. Flip it vertically and you can get some different angles. One thing that I will recommend is walk to the edge of the rail. Go to the, don't stand in the middle of the ship and shoot through a lot of people. If you're trying to get a photo of the glacier, go to the rail. Always, always put the strap over your head, the strap on your arm. When you're in front of something and on a moving vehicle, you always want to have those straps around you. But don't stand 15 paces back or shoot through the window here in the crow's nest. Go outside and experience it. Be out on the rail, because everybody wants to be at the edge and nobody's going to want to step aside for your picture. You just stand up against the rail and then you don't have to worry about anything else. Whenever you're thinking about composition, think about the picture that you're taking and try to put in the frame something that you could tell a story about. Make your picture a representation of an idea. So it's not that complicated, but get rid of all the other clutter in the photo and just focus on one thing or two things. It's best if you don't stick stuff right in the center. A lot of photographers use the thirds, the rule of thirds method, okay? So from top to bottom and from left to right, right to left, think of your frame as in thirds. Put the points of interest in those 4 corner points. Thirds, thirds, those are where you put your key interest points. It's kind of a compositional thing from art and the history of art throughout time. What else can I tell you? You always need enough light in front of the glacier. If you're taking a picture of your friends in front of the glacier, you may want to use a flash, but we also have our ship photographers, and they'll be running around and taking beautiful shots of you and your friends in front of the glaciers as well. So that's just a few fun tips for now. I may be back later with more photography tips. I am at my desk, which is near the front desk at different times of the day, so just check your daily program. But my name is Kelly and I'm your location guide, and I'm happy to answer photographic questions in addition to any question that you have about Alaska, our ports of call, wildlife, things to see and do, and anything else Alaska oriented. So you guys have a fantastic time, and I will see you around the ship.
Well, I guess that's it for the weather from Glacier Bay. Why are you even holding this?
Because I don't want to get more wet. Bad enough now.
I hate my life.
I love my life.
We'll see you later. Bye. Let's go.
I need a life preserver.
Oh my God.